Hi, it's Milton Justice, and my podcast, I Don't Need an Acting Class, which is loosely based on my book, I Don't Need an Acting Class. My book is a collection of emails, and it's basically a collection of emails between me and actors that I've taught over the years. After class or at some particular point, somebody will send me an email about something they didn't understand, and so I saved the email. It's been very interesting how clear you have to be in an email. Unlike a text, where apparently from the New York Times you use only 200 words, but in an email you're really forced to look at exactly what it is that you're talking about, and you can read back over it. It's given me this faith, by the way, that writing may come back to us. I started with the emails when I was teaching in Korea. I had an assistant, Paul, who was Australian Korean, so his natural language was English, and he was an actor. And so I got used to hearing myself echoed in Korean when I was teaching, and I would go on and on and on. And then at one point he looked at me and he said, "They don't have that word in Korean." And which was really interesting to me, because I thought, oh my God, I can't use the vocabulary we've all been using for acting forever. And it actually changed my teaching. I have to say, I suddenly got back to something that Stanislavski had said right from the beginning. He was not looking for vocabulary of acting. It was vocabulary that came out of standard usage. And I fear that what's happened is that we have, of course, tried desperately to make a vocabulary out of acting, and that actors are now thinking that because they know the vocabulary, they can act. But that's another story. At any rate, Paul, after class, when he would get home, actually after we'd eat and have several vodkas, and then he'd get home, he would send me an email about what we'd done in class. And then I'd get up in the morning and send him an email back clarifying. And it started a really kind of cool correspondence, and I've sort of found it along the way. I'm friends with a woman named Sharon Carnegie, who's the head of acting at USC, and I will periodically email Sharon about a Stanislavski issue. And so I collected all these emails, hundreds of pages of them, and so it took me only 8 years to come down to possibly a readable book. But here's the thing, and I realized this in June of 2018, and it was right in the midst of me trying to pull together all these emails and make sense out of them. There were emails between Andrew Garfield, who had been nominated for a Tony Award for his performance in Angels in America, and Stephen Spinelli, who had won 2 Tony Awards for his performance in Angels in America when it opened in 1993. And they'd never met. And it was a collection of emails between them as they discuss a part from a play that was written in 1993, and the difference of the perspective on the part in 1993 and Andrew Garfield's perspective from doing the play in 2018. I thought that was unbelievable. Anyway, that's it. It's just the fact that emails kind of force you to address issues. I've always thought it's really too bad we didn't have emails when Stanislavski and Stella were working, because it would have been so interesting for Stella to say, "Dear Mr. Stanislavski," and for Stanislavski to say, "Dear Stella," and send these emails back. Acting might have become much easier. For our next session, I'd like to approach the idea of how do I view the text? And it's based on a chapter called Stop Seeing the Text as Sentences.
Hi, everybody. It's Walker Vreeland. I'm the producer of I Don't Need an Acting Class with Milton Justice. Director of online media is Evan Solers, and music is provided by David DeJuice. If you have a question or comment you'd like Milton to address on an upcoming episode, email us at questionsformilton@gmail.com. Again, that's questionsformilton@gmail.com. And if you like the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. Thanks so much for listening.